guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. Today we're going to do a get ready with me, but we're going to talk about all the new releases that is come in the market, that is going to come, the holiday releases, the leaked palettes, everything. So if you are ready to talk about all the new palettes that are coming, then please keep on watching. Okay, let's begin. I want to do a quick get ready with me. Not a quick, I just want to ease out. So let's begin. I'm going to use my NYX Plump Right Back primer, just because it's been quite some time and I loved this primer when it came. So definitely want to concentrate on using this even more. So I'm going to put that all across my face, but on the center of my face, just because I have a lot of breakouts going on right now. I don't want to emphasize the texture. So I'm going to apply my Farsali primer on the T-zone, just so that I don't emphasize any texture or anything, and it gives more of like a blurred effect on my skin. So for that, I'm going to take my liquid powder from Farsali, rub it in between my hands and just press it right in the center. And this does a beautiful job on like mattifying and like just smoothing out the skin altogether. So that's what I'm focusing on. I already did my brows using my Maybelline Express Brow Pencil, and this one is in the shade Medium Brown. So let's move on to the foundation. Another foundation that I really want to give another try, I would say, is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation, the Long Whip Long Wearing Foundation. The problem with this is I am in the shade Tan Golden, but super light for me. So I'm going to mix my L'Oreal, the foundation that's almost done. I'm just going to mix that and get a shade closer to mine, just because I cannot make this work. Like even if it is like Tan Golden, it's super light on me. Can you see that? I'm even embarrassed. So I'm just gonna scrape out whatever is left on this foundation bottle and then try to make this work. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. We'll make it work. I feel like I made it work. Let's see. I don't have much of it, but so I'm gonna just put it with my fingers, press it with my brush and see how this goes. The thing that I like about this foundation is it's super lightweight, but the shade, I mean, I could not look past the shade just because it was so light. Like after mixing, I feel like I've gotten my shade, but yeah, it's totally misleading. Like Tan Golden should definitely work for me. If not, like be a little more dark, I would say, because I definitely feel like I am a shade which is like between medium and tan. So tan should definitely be like dark on me. But nevertheless, I think we made it work. And after mixing, I really like it, just because it's like super lightweight on the skin. And yeah, I like it. I like this way. So after testing it a few more times, I'm feeling that, yeah, I can make it work, but I should not like work for the foundation, if that makes sense. Like the foundation should work for me. Okay, let's move on to the concealer. Yes, I have a new concealer to try out, which is pretty new in the market, I would say. And this is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is their Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. And I have mine in the shade Tan, again, number 10. And I think this matches me pretty well. I have like a smaller version of this with me. This is how the packet is. And this is how the concealer looks. But to test out, this is a pretty nice size. So we have a good doe foot applicator. And I feel like this shade is pretty good on me. So I'm going to focus that on the center of my face, on the sides of the mouth, and underneath the eyes, of course. And take my BK Beauty concealer brush. Go over the places, super gently. Again, it's a very creamy concealer. It's definitely not like watery or like super lightweight by any means. I definitely feel that this is more of like a creamy consistency, not thick by any means, but definitely not like watery also. And I feel like the shade 10 matches me pretty well. So I'm gonna concentrate that in the inner corner of the eyelid and then take it underneath the eyes, take it there, and then very gently swipe it downwards. Just like that. I definitely wanted to talk about a few new releases that are coming in the market too. And I am interested and intrigued about a few releases for sure. But on the other hand, some of them completely disappoints me like over and over again. So let's go over it. Did you guys see Pat McGrath just revealed her new holiday palette? By the time I'm filming this, she's not like revealed the shades of it. I just know that it has like a pink covering, but it looks very, very similar to her 2021 release palette. Like this is red in color and the new one is like pink in color. That's the only difference, but I think the sizing and all is pretty same. Hopefully the layout is she covers this area with another shade. I just hope that and makes it like somewhat symmetrical. But I am very impressed about the formulas of Pat McGrath shadows. So I am super, super intrigued, but I would definitely wait for a sale because her palettes, if you are not like a reviewer, and if you are a consumer, I would say just wait out for like a few months and it would go on a sale. Like I've seen this palette go on for sale like around $50, $48 kind of a price range. Whereas originally it's like $78, I would say, around that price range. So I am super intrigued and interested in that for sure. Before we move on the powder products, let's finish off with the cream products. For the cream bronzer, I'm going to use my Fenty cream bronzer. It's been such a long time, so I definitely wanted to use this. And this one is in the shade Teddy. The second release, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I did post it on my Instagram stories. Huda Beauty is coming out with the new palette, like the original palettes that she come out with like every year end, like the Mercury Retrograde palette, the Naughty Nude palette, the Rose Quartz palette that she came out with last year. This time the palette is called Empowered. At least that's what I saw. It's called Empowered and it seems very, very close to the new Natasha Denona Dream palette. So I would say if you did pick out the Natasha Denona Dream palette, and if you do have, let's say, the Glam Light Chocolate Martini palette, the color story is very, very similar to that. Now, I feel like the industry, the makeup industry is moving back to neutrals, which I'm not mad about because I'm not like a person who's against neutrals. At this stage of my life, I prefer neutrals no matter what, but I do love my multichromes too. Like I just get super excited when I see multichromes. And you guys know I love my jewel tones. But the rest of the shades in between, I mean, how much would I wear it in my everyday life? That's the question. So if I was not like a YouTuber, I was not reviewing makeup, I would definitely go with neutrals. And I would go with some multichromes shades from the indie brands because I know that they do it like the best in the multichrome like industry, I would say. I really, really prefer that. If it was me, like in a normal life, I would say this. I would just buy that. And why should I change myself even if I am like a YouTuber? That's my whole question. That's my whole point. I am not like sent PR by these brands. It excites me to another level, I would say. When I like look at new makeup, I can try new makeup because makeup truly brings me joy. I really get excited over it. Like I've spoken to so many of my subscribers. You guys are like my friends. So I speak to you on like daily basis on like DMs. I have made like a personal connection with so many people. And you guys know how much I get excited around makeup. You guys send me like pictures when you see like a new palette release. And I love that. I get so excited with you. So I am only gonna buy the things that make sense to me. I'm not just gonna buy it when I know that this is gonna go on sale after a few months. Yes, I can wait for a few months. I'm not like dying to like put on makeup because I do have so much. But will I buy it? Yes, for sure. So the gist about all of this talk is that yes, I'm gonna buy the Huda Beauty palette. I don't know when. I know that she does get the new releases that she's released for Black Friday sale just for like a lesser discount as compared to the other palettes. I'm gonna wait for the Black Friday sale and see how I feel about it. And if it's still intriguing me, yes, I'll buy it. But I'll wait for a sale for sure. Especially because I just got the Natasha Denona Dream palette. And we're gonna put my Dream palette on my eyes along with Glam Lights Chocolate Martini palette too, just because I wanted to recreate what we have going on with the new Huda Beauty palette, the Empowered palette. So I definitely wanted to show you guys how it's gonna look like. Like this is almost the color story that you're gonna get in the Huda Beauty palette too. Just instead of 15 shades, you're gonna get 18 shades. I have the picture right in front of me. It's just that I don't know if I can show it to you or not. It can take down my video, it can take down my channel because I've seen that happen in Instagram and I don't wanna risk that. So I hope you understand, but I feel like I'm seeing 6 shimmers and I'm seeing majority of the matte shades leaning towards like those corally and like pinky browns, just very, very similar to these shades, I would say. Like Irish cream and these shades, and we have like mauve leaning shades too. We have like a very interesting gray with like the shades like this, like Carpe Diem and Unity and these shades. I would say if you've not seen that palette leaked, I feel like people are gonna say that it is gonna be close to the Huda Beauty's Naughty Nude palette. It's closer to that, I would say. If Naughty Nude palette and Natasha Denona Dream palette had a baby, that's how it looks. That's the maximum that I can tell you. I put a blush. I was intending to put this, but I think I used the Flower Beauty Blush Bomb. And this one is in the shade Spiced. So yes, I did want to mention what I'm using if I didn't say that. Okay, now let's move on to the powder. I just want to set my face. Let's use this. I'm going to take my Catrice Mineral Loose Powder. I'm going to take my BK Beauty 103 brush and just dust everything out. I have creases on my lids, but we can fix it. No worries. I love loose powder to set my face just because it feels so lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy by any means, and it does the job pretty well, and that's what we are looking for. I'm also going to set my under eyes with another brush which is a little more like precise. And this brush is Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH07. I'm just going to press that in the same powder. And I'm just going to see if I have any creases going on. I'll just smoothen that out with my fingers. And then just press this powder underneath my eyes. And then just bring it down. I also feel like that palette, the Huda Beauty palette, I'm not able to get out of it if you cannot see. I feel like this Believe Beauty trio, I'm completely losing the bronzer, not because I used it up, it's because it shattered and it broke. So I just want to take this blush because I feel like that will complement those palettes so very nicely. So I'm going to take that as my powder blush. And also for the highlighter, I love this highlighter. Like if you've not seen this, this is in the shade Medium Deep. I'm going to take this highlighter, apply this. Look how wet it looks. It's stunning, guys. And it is like under $5. You cannot go wrong with this. Especially if you are like a medium tan skin tone person. Like this is pretty good palette to have in your collection. Okay, now let's talk about other releases that are coming. Did you guys see Gourmande Girls is coming out with a new palette in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny? And they are the ones who did this palette before, Cecil Moore palette, and I have a dedicated like video using this palette, and I love this palette. Now the new palette is called Spooked palette, and it is their Halloween release. Instead of having 12 shades, they have 14 shades now, and the color story, you just wait and see. I've seen like the picture of the palette because I was like chatting with Gourmande Girls owner Christina, and she's such a sweetheart. She showed me the palette, and oh my god, if you love Halloween and those shades, they're so pretty. They're so very pretty. Like I immediately was so excited. She said that she'll send me the palette. As soon as it comes to me, I'll definitely do a video on that. But I absolutely love the looks of the palette. If you like jewel tones, if you like duochrome shades, if you like just all fall vibes, you will absolutely love it. Okay, I'm going to use my Dream palette and Glamlight's Dirty Martini palette, but mainly this palette just because I'm using and I'm loving the way this palette looks. So let's use this. Also, I would say, I'm going to dip into Unity. Also, I would say Anastasia Beverly Hills is going to come out with 2 new palettes. I don't know, that also got leaked in the market, but those are not the palettes that are exciting me. I did not pick out the Novo palette that she recently released, and she's coming out with another palette with the same sizing and all, dipping into Carpe Diem. It looks like a big sister to Novo, and it does have warm tone shades, cool tone shades, a few greens, a few browns, coppers mixed in here and there, and it truly seems like a bigger sister to Novo palette, but those color story is not the one that's exciting me, I would say. So I definitely can pass on that. You guys know I am big eyeshadow person, but I made a conscious decision that I am gonna buy only 10 palettes this year, and I'm already at 8, I would say. So I just have like 2 more spots that I can fill. I'm not counting that the ones that I'm getting in PR or as gifts, but at least I am gonna buy only 10 palettes as a conscious decision. Why is that a tongue twister? For this year. So, and I have like Huda Beauty palette and Pat McGrath palette, although I've not seen the Pat McGrath palette. I have not seen how that looks, so I don't know if I'm gonna buy that or not, but I'm super intrigued just because I love what all you can do with that palette. I love the quality too, but also I'm very intrigued about the Huda Beauty palette. It's just that I know that I'm gonna use that, and I love Huda's formula so much. I feel like that palette is definitely like worth the wait. And I would love it. So yeah, I don't know. So those shades that I put is definitely the ones that are there in that palette. We're gonna dip into Edgy. Obviously this is cream to powder, but in Huda's palette it seems like a powder finish, which I would absolutely love because that would be more, I would say, impactful. This is not as punchy as dark as I would like, but nevertheless, it's a very nice shade. So yeah, as I was saying about the new palettes, I also saw that Anastasia Beverly Hills is gonna come out with a mini palette too, like the mini soft glam palette, same size I would say, and it is retailed at $29 again, and it's called, what is it called? I saw the name somewhere. It had 8 shades, 5 mattes and 3 shimmers. It's a very neutral color story, and it's called Glam to Go, I think that's what the name of that palette is. Again, it's a very neutral color story. Again, that's not a palette that I would be looking for just because it doesn't excite me that much, and I feel like I can skip it. Also, Adept Cosmetics, I don't know now when are they going to release this palette, but I did see a palette leak which is called Adept Minka palette, I think. And that palette is full shimmer palette, and it is full of neutral multichrome shades, which is like right up my alley. I feel like I've never tried Adept Cosmetics but heard like such great things about it, and I would love to try that Minka palette as well as Heather Austin palette if it is available. And I would want to like pick those up together just because I feel like I'm going to use that so much. Even the Adept, like the Heather Austin palette, I feel like I would love that palette. Like I really would love that palette. It's just that I am on such a tight budget that I really want to like think over the palettes that I am buying, and I don't want like repetitive shades in my collection, especially if it is like those colorful shades, because I do not wear that many colors on my eyes except like few shimmers, or if I'm like looking for a change, yes, I would. I feel like I'm good at that, of like not collecting or not buying the palettes that are like not my color story, but I really want to test out these brands too. Just I'm super curious about it, so I'm very much eyeing that new Adapt palette. So we'll see when it comes. I don't know if it's in holiday release, if it's a next year release, but I'm super excited about that. It seems like we do have this shade and this shade also in that palette, so I'm gonna dip into that. Oh my god, am I gonna be in trouble? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna take that in my outer and the inner corners, and also on my lower lash line, but just on the outer corners, I would say. I love a black nowadays in a palette just because it just deepens out anything and everything, and I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, I'm gonna take that again. And let's talk about another indie brand which will be new to me, and this is Wicked Widow Beauty. And they're coming out with like I don't know, like a cowboy boot kind of packaging. I won't lie, like I mean the packaging artwork is stunning. Just because the way it is shaped, I feel like it's going to be difficult to store. It's definitely like a collector item and not like I don't think it's like a practical palette to like store, but the shades seems super lovely. If you are like a beginner, and now I do not know the quality of the palette, so I'll definitely have to check it out. I saw the palette on the Instagram and I'll pop the picture on the screen for you guys. I feel like if you are new to makeup and you don't know what colors to like go to, I feel like it has covered everything, almost everything. I would say it has greens, it has pinks, it has corals. So I feel like it's a very well thought out like fall palette for sure. Even spring palette, I would say. I feel like it gives a very nice spring vibes with those yellows and greens and pinks and purples. So I feel like it's a very good palette to have, especially if you are finding out whether you are like, if you are like a color lover or more of a neutral lover. I'll check out, I'll wear those palettes, and I'll wear that palette and see. Did I even tell you the name of the palette? It's called Yallternative palette. I'll check that out, I'll wear it, and I'll see how the quality is, and I'll recommend you with the truthful review. I've not received the palette as yet, but the owner did reach out to me saying that she might send that palette to me. So once it receives, if I receive, I will definitely do a video on it for sure. But excited about that too. And then the new Urban Decay palette. I think it's a collaboration palette with Eisenberg. It's another naked palette with neutrals and blue tones. I didn't give it like a second look, so it didn't intrigue me that much, but I feel like that palette is losing out on deepening shades. Like if you look at the palette like carefully, and if you think like what looks you're gonna create and put on your eyes, and this is like one of the comments that even one of my subscriber who was talking to me about this palette, she was saying, if I'm thinking of the looks that I'll create out of that palette, I don't see a lot of like deepening shades to round up that look, which I feel like it's a very true statement. So yeah, I'm not intrigued about that palette, so I will definitely like skip on that. It's an easy pass for me. Also, that Huda Beauty palette does remind me a lot of like what we thought the midi retro palette is gonna be, like with those corals and grays that the mini retro was. I feel like Huda Beauty would check off all the boxes because she does have grays. She has those like taupey shades. It has those coral shades, those neutral shades, some golds thrown in there. So yes, I feel like if we use this, we can get very close to it. I feel like this shade, these golden shades, these are all there in that palette. So what are we doing? I don't know. What should we do? I'm gonna mix like this and this together because I feel like it's not this dark, but I feel like it has that rosiness to it. So I'm gonna take that and I'm putting that in the center of my eyelid. And I love these shades, like absolutely love these shades as my halo eye. Look at that shade. It's so pretty. And that would be our halo eye. Have we covered everything, or is there more palettes to talk about? Yes, the new Nomad Hudson Valley palette. I saw a lot of people reviewing this palette. Again, it's going to be an easy palette, easy pass for me, just because it's not the color story that I am like gravitating towards, just because it's, yes, it has 12 mattes and 3 shimmers, and I love my shimmers. And I've had Nomad palettes in the past. The palette that I had was like moreover like a matte palette, and I did give it out to one of my friends just because I was not gravitating towards it. I felt like it was like not the color story for me. Overall quality was really good, but the color story was not speaking out to me. I feel like they have done like really great color stories after that palette, and I would definitely be intrigued, and that's the palette that I'm really waiting to try in the near future. I just need like a color story that speaks out to me. I have no doubts because there are a lot of YouTubers that absolutely love the quality of Nomad, and I really did like the quality. It's just the color story for me that is like not jumping towards me. So right now I can skip over it. Now finally, I would say for the inner corners, I feel like we have to use this. I'm going to take a little bit of Rich just to get the golden tones out of that palette. I'm going to concentrate that right in the center of my eyelid just to mix the cool tones and the warm tones together. Just for something different, I'm going to put that right in the center of my eyelid. You guys let me know, what palette are you interested in out of the palettes that I spoke about. The palettes that I can put a picture on the screen, I'll definitely put it. The palettes that I cannot, I won't be able to put it. I did put the Huda Beauty palette on my stories on Instagram, and it just went away, and I don't know who took it off, but somebody did. So I'm not daring to do that again. So I'm going to quickly finish this eye off with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. Okay, now finally for the lips, let's take BFF3 from Colourpop, the lippy pencil. I'm going to just line my lips. And then for the lipstick, I'm going to take my Natasha Denona lipstick in the shade Yana. Feel like that would match this eye look really well. Really love this. I love a good grayish shade, and that's exactly what this is. Love it, love it. I'm going to quickly set my face. This is e.l.f.'s Hydrating Coconut Setting Spray. I just put it in this bottle, the Jen Atkin bottle, just because I love the sprayer. Absolutely beautiful. Just gonna press my face with a powder puff right underneath my eyes. I love to do this step. Just polishes my skin, I feel like. And that is it. That's my final look. I really hope that you guys love this Get Ready With Me, talking about all the new releases that's going to come in the market this holiday season. This is like my favorite season. I love fall. I love new makeup that comes in the fall. The holiday releases, it's all absolutely lovely. You guys let me know in the comment section below which are the new releases that you are absolutely excited for. And then you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.